Champions League Barcelona vs Borussia Dortmund prediction, team news, lineups preview. Champions League favorites Barcelona welcome last year's finalists Borussia Dortmund to Montjuic in the first leg of their quarter-final tie on Wednesday. Hansi Flick's side have been steamrolling their way through this competition so far, playing undoubtedly the most eye-catching attacking football, justifying their position at the top of the markets. Match preview. With a place against Inter Milan or Bayern Munich on the line, for both of these sides there is added incentive to reach the last four. Barcelona will still want to exorcise the demons of their semi-final defeat to Inter in 2010. While Dortmund could make up for years of torture at the hands of Bayern as they seek to reach back-to-back finals. The task for the German side looks huge, though, given the scintillating form Barcelona are currently in. Having gone unbeaten in 22 games, winning 18, but they were held to a 1-1 draw at home to Real Betis over the weekend, with not 10 cancelling out Gavi's early opener. A quadruple remains in sight. Though, for Barcelona, who have already won the Spanish Super Cup and advanced to the Copa del Rey final courtesy of their 5-4 aggregate win over Atletico Madrid last midweek. Ferran Torres got the only goal in the second leg at the Metropolitano, after an extraordinary 4-4 draw in the first meeting, but before an El Clasico final in that competition. Barca have both legs of this Champions League quarter-final to play, as well as 3 winnable La Liga fixtures against Leganés, Celta Vigo, and Real Mallorca. The fact that a Clasico final could occur in 2 separate competitions, while the two are still battling for the title, suggests this could be one of the finest seasons of all time in Spanish football. But the race for the La Liga crown took a huge turn at the weekend with Los Blancos losing to Valencia at home. Flick will only be focused on his own team's exploits though, and attention will shift to this first leg with Dortmund, with the two now meeting in Spain after facing off at Westfalenstadion during the league phase. Ferran was the hero again for Barca, netting 2 late goals in a 3-2 victory after Sergio Guirassy had equalized twice for BVB, and they will feel confident of taking a lead back to Germany next week, with the view of reaching a first semi since 2019. Barca have never lost in 5 previous meetings with Dortmund, and manager Flick has a perfect 100% record against them, with 6 wins from 6 across his time with Bayern, and including the league phase success. The odds are even further stacked against Dortmund when you consider they have won on just 3 of their 20 trips to Spain, with a 5-2 defeat at Real Madrid earlier this season adding to that poor record. Even though they did briefly lead 2-0 at the Santiago Bernabeu. Barca will know they cannot take Dortmund lightly though, because despite a very poor domestic campaign, the Yellow Blacks have been a force in Europe recently. Dortmund's only knockout stage defeat in their last 8 was in last year's final at Wembley to Real Madrid, and they have won 3 in a row on the road in such matches. It is a good job their form in Europe remains good, because winning this competition will surely be the only route back into the competition for Niko Kovac's men next season. A weak Bundesliga means, somehow, Dortmund's top 4 hopes are still alive. After back-to-back wins against Mainz and Freiburg, but currently lying in 8th, 5 points off 4th, those chances remain slim. Team news. Rafinha was kept in reserve at the weekend with this game in mind, and should rejoin Lamine Yamal and former Dortmund man Robert Lewandowski in a clinical, 3-pronged Barcelona attack. Dani Olmo is set to miss out with a muscle problem, while Inigo Martinez is a big doubt. But even though he also had to pull out of international duty last month, the central defender is in line to return here. Marc Casado, Marc Bernal, and first-choice stopper Marc-Andre ter Stegen are all out with season-ending injuries. But the form of veteran Wojciech Szczesny has alleviated that problem between the sticks. Marcel Sabitzer was set to be the only absentee from the Dortmund squad for this clash. With the Austrian midfielder currently sidelined with a knee injury, but bad news was announced on Monday. Along with Yen Kuto, Nico Schlotterbeck was set to return from suspension for this, along with Niklas Süle after a knock, but the German international has been ruled out for the rest of the season with a meniscus tear in his left knee. Manager Kovac is still spoilt for choice all over the pitch though with an almost fully fit squad. But it is likely Guirassy in particular will be in the starting 11, after he was rested on Saturday. Barcelona possible starting lineup: Szczesny, Kound, Kubarsi, Martinez, Bald, De Jong, Pedri, Yamal, Torres, Rafinha, Lewandowski. Borussia Dortmund possible starting lineup: Kobel, Ryerson, Anton, Bensebaini, Svensson, Can, Oskan, Brandt, Adeyemi, Guirassy, Bayer. We say, Barcelona 3-1 Borussia Dortmund. Well worth their favorites tag. It would be a huge surprise to see anything but a Barcelona win in this first leg. And they should extend their dominant record over Dortmund ahead of next week's return. Dortmund have scored in each of their previous 11 Champions League away matches, but even then that is unlikely going to be enough for them against this Barcelona machine that can score goals that will past any team. Thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.